As a lot of you probably already know, but maybe a good amount of you do not know, we had a big announcement released in the official Warpath Discord about the Naval update that is very close to being released. So I wanted to jump on it and get you guys all of the information that was released as quickly as possible. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and jump into it and start breaking it all down. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad you're here. As always, I hope life is going well for each and every one of you. Like I said in the intro, I don't want to waste any time. I want to make sure I jump on this and get you guys all of the latest information as it continues to roll out in regard to the Naval update. But before we get started, if you guys get value out of this video, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. All right, now let's go ahead and jump in and start taking a look at the information that was shared. All right, so the first picture here was included in the announcement that was put out, but it just says Conquest, a GNC coming soon. All right, so here's the first image that was shared with some actual information on it. Starting with number 1, ocean battlefields. The GNC map consists of both land and ocean battlefields. Continue leading your ground forces to victory on land, all while contesting new strategic places at sea. Number 2, faction battles. Alliances in this theater of conquest will be divided into 2 factions of similar strength to engage in a fair contest. Number 3, faction points. Occupy strategic places to earn faction points, which are the key to victory. My guess would be think about faction points kind of like strategic buildings in Theater of Conquest events. Think about like military labs, blockhouses, things like that. Number 4, combat zones. The GNC map will be divided into multiple combat zones. Airlift permits are required to airlift across combat zones. The further the distance, the higher the cost. Number 5, ranking adjustments. Alliance repute rankings will be removed from the GNC Conquest. Instead, commanders in each faction will receive their conquest reward based on the commander contribution rankings. Moving on to image number 3, it says number 1, the warm-up phase for Conquest. A GNC begins on October 31st UTC. We look forward to seeing you showcase your skills on this new battlefield. Number 2, to ensure everyone has a fair experience, commanders registered for the Moscow Conquest starting October 10th, 2024 will also be able to participate in the GNC Conquest starting November 21st, 2024. Likewise, commanders registered for the GNC Conquest starting October 31st, 2024 will be able to participate in the Moscow Conquest starting December 12th, 2024. And then underneath that, we can see kind of a timeline here. It says Conquest map warm-up phase start time. So for Moscow, 10:10, a GNC 1031, a GNC 1121, and then Moscow 1212. Image number 4 says naval combat will be exclusive to Conquest a GNC. Commanders will not be able to engage enemies in the sea areas of other Conquest maps. Subsequent competitive mode conquests will rotate between 1 non-naval conquest, Moscow, San Francisco, Cairo, Rome, and New York, 1 naval conquest, a GNC. Subsequent classic mode conquests will rotate between 1 non-naval conquest, Moscow, San Francisco, Cairo, Rome, New York, and 1 naval conquest, a GNC. And then last but not least, it says unit star level restrictions. During the early stages of the Naval update, differences in how quickly commanders develop their navies may result in varied gameplay experiences. To ensure everyone has a positive experience during Conquest GNC, we will apply stricter restrictions on the naval units and naval base fortified walls. These restrictions are separate from those affecting ground force units and land base fortified walls, applying only to the naval units and naval base. And underneath that, it says, note, star level restrictions for Naval Conquest will also apply to legendary battlefields. Star level restrictions for a GNC Conquest will apply in both competitive and classic modes. In future Naval Conquests, we will continue adjusting these restrictions across all battlefield tiers based on players' overall naval unit progressions to ensure an enjoyable Conquest experience for all commanders. And then at the very bottom, it gives a full breakdown on the unit restrictions. Battlefield restrictions for the first GNC Conquest are legendary. It's going to be 8-star max. Gold, it looks like gold 1, 2, 3, all 7.2, and then all of the silver battlegrounds are going to be a 7.1 star restriction with a max unit level of 100 and max fortified wall level of 40 at legendary, 30 at gold. For gold 1 and 2. Gold 3 is going to be 20, silver 1 is 10, and silver 2 and 3 are 0. And then jumping back, I skipped ahead of myself a little bit. Max unit level for both legendary battlegrounds are going to be level 180. For the gold 1 and 2 battlegrounds, it's going to be 160. Gold 3, it's going to be 140. Silver 1, it is 140, and silver 2 and 3 are going to be capped at level 120. So now, my first takeaway from that is I'm obviously excited for the naval update. I'm curious to see how it goes, of course, but I'm also very happy to see that they are going to place restrictions on the naval units, at least at the beginning. For those of you that are newer to Warpath, you don't have any prior history with this, but for those of us that have been around and were around a long time ago when Air Force, for example, first got introduced, there were no restrictions, and the gap between the whales and then the small to medium spenders and then the free-to-play players was just massive. I mean, there was whales that seemed to have multiple 7.2 units in a matter of days, and it just made for a super unbalanced experience, so I'm glad to see that they have learned from their past mistakes. And with that all being said, I'm going to turn it over to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and feedback in the comments below. I'm going to be reading them, responding to them. This is a massive update. This is going to be, in a lot of ways, very much game-changing for Warpath, so I definitely am going to be engaged and seeing what you all have to say. If you have stuck around and made it this far into the video, if you've got access to Discord and are not already in our community Discord server, the link to that is going to be in the description of the video. Click on that link. It'll take you right into the community server. Whether you are a new player, have questions, want to learn some more, or a veteran player, just want to come hang out, get to know more people in the community, it doesn't matter. Absolutely everybody is welcome. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch the video today, and we'll see you on the next one.